Hey, everybody, welcome. Thanks for your patience as we get going here. We're a little cozy tonight, but I think luckily, I don't think anyone's sick and I think most of us showered. We're gonna start with student representative report, and we are well represented by 3 students tonight. Good to see you all. Go ahead.
We had Halloween Spirit Day on Halloween, or the day prior, because we didn't have school Halloween. We had a costume contest with the students at Phoenix High School, and the winners got a basket with a bunch of goodies. We also had College Swag Day last week on Thursday for College Application Week with a door decorating contest among the teachers. And today is actually awards night for fall sports at Phoenix High School. We had boys soccer, girls volleyball, girls cross country, and boys cross country qualify for state. They did amazing. And FFA went to Indianapolis for the 98th National FFA Convention and Expo.
Hey, hi, my name's Rachel, and something I'm gonna talk about today is, not last weekend, but the one before, our Phoenix High School leadership class, a few select students, we got to the OASC Leadership Conference. And it was a really great experience for a lot of us. It was my second year going. And there's just like a lot of really great opportunities there and networking opportunities. And one of the things that we get to do as students is create presentations to give to the other students and teachers there. And students get to like pick which workshops they're gonna go to. And so we had 2 presentations this year, which is pretty big for us, from not having any to having one really good one last year. We had 2 very successful ones this year. In a normal workshop, you have about like 20-25 students. In one of ours, we had 50+ students, and the other one had over 100 students. So they were very well entertained. So that was a really big experience for a lot of us. We also went to another leadership conference. It was held at SOU. It was the SOU Symposium, and it was the first of hopefully many to come. It was run by the Namas family, and we pretty much got to go to SOU for the day and listen to 2 different keynote speakers talking about authenticity in your leadership and how to like be vulnerable and accept being a leader and really go beyond leadership as we act. And there's also 4 scholarships available for $15,000 for students going to college. So really big opportunities for that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I don't have as much to say as her, but our band team this weekend, won 3rd at their competition, and, their brass section got 2nd. And then, our scavenger hunt, which a ton of kids, don't do school for a week and they have to spend some time catching up, got 3rd out of 11 schools, which is really good for us. We haven't gotten.
So one more quick thing to add. A few weeks ago, starting on November 3rd, was early application for a lot of colleges and seniors. And so we've had a couple students already hear back from colleges on acceptance, which is just really big.
Very exciting. Aren't they great? I'm getting around. Sophomore up here, by the way. Very good. Okay, accentuate the positive. Casey?
Good evening, everybody. Good to see you all. So tonight I just have a few shout outs I want to give. Today during school, we had our school lockdown practice drill. And so I just want to give a shout out to Sergeant Neiman, our resource officer, and Aaron Hall actually showed up as well. So law enforcement support, but just again, as we're trying to build systems and making sure that this is the safest place that can be. And so running those drills, seeing where we can improve and get better and all that. So thank you for their insights. I want to give a shout out to Cindy Rutherford. I think I've mentioned, so this year's our, we didn't have this class last year, but we have a CTE hands-on type class, and have really, I think as we continue to grow it, but they had a ramen cook-off competition that staff got to participate in and try different that, and kids got really into it. And they're doing a lot of Cindy being a formal math teacher of pulling in math with those and how they're measuring and all of the recipes and everything like that. So that's just, kids are just excited about it and the kids that aren't in it, like the buzz is like definitely there, that wanting to join, so excited to continue to grow that program. I want to give a shout out to Derek Rodman. He is just like very helpful, and I just made a note of just like his calm presence and support. There's just been a couple situations that I would call not calm, and I think his like calm energy, positive energy, and just wanting to do everything he can for kids and help kids succeed. Thankful for that. I want to give a shout out to our front office team, Julie Lockett, Vanessa Jimenez, Lily Reyes, and Dean Tanner. You know, they're the front facing when people come in our building, they're the ones that are there. And I think just, I don't know, I'm seeing a lot of growth in them this year and just their presence there and all of that. So just want to give them a shout out. Deanne Tanner and I just actually went to a training together. That's why I was out a little bit last week, and really just how her and I can work more efficiently together and getting me out in classrooms and really kind of just getting out of my own way and letting her run the show. So that's the plan. And then last but not least, and it's kind of ties to me being out last week for a couple of days, but just to Allison, it's like to feel confident and not like have to worry, and knowing that she like has it down when I'm not here, just makes it so much easier for me to get those opportunities and to grow myself. So just want to give her a shout out as well. So thank you.
Casey, if you haven't already, give Deanne your email. That'll be life changing for you.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'll be honest.
I get it.
Me getting
I know, I know.
Thank you. Yeah.
I scheduled email for 8:30 tomorrow to ask us to do that for 7.
Good, good.
Hi, board, Keelan Cross, proud principal of the Pirate Ship. A couple of things that I just wanted to make sure you're aware of. First is, I'm sure that you've seen our attendance data that we're really proud of this year. That has been a collective effort of a lot of people, making sure that we're focused on individual student situations. And so I wanted to first shout out to Southern Oregon ESD. Jackie Jacquette actually helped us do some empathy interviews so we could better understand what's going on for our students. And also we've had a lot of people invest a lot of time into setting up our new intervention suite, which is an add-on to Power School. And that's giving us a lot of great data right away. And so I wanted to shout out to Erica Ochoa, who's really led the charge and has kind of made sure that we don't drop that ball, because there's a lot of things going on to set that up. Hilda Pantoja is our attendance specialist at the high school. Just her commitment to learning a new system, being willing to try new things. And also just our team in IT, who does a great job of supporting us from the back end of things and the language I don't speak, asking me questions so we can get the data we need. Also, we have started site council, and it's been moving and grooving. I mentioned that under the attendance protocol or attendance situation, because our goal this year is to get really clear on our communications with families about attendance. High school is a lot of, I don't want a helicopter parent, but I also don't want to give my student 100% freedom. So just kind of balancing how we can communicate with families so that they feel that they're balancing both of those things well. We recently had the end of the quarter. I wanted to let you guys know that we had 286 students who qualified for honor roll, which is a 3.5 GPA or higher. So shout out to those students who are working really hard. And additionally, out of those 286 students, 104 of them had 4.0 GPA. So really working hard and making sure that they're getting what they need done. As you know, we have student-led conferences coming up. Tammy Ingwerson is the brains that make that whole operation work. So I just wanted to shout out to her. She does a great job of making sure we're getting what families need as far as the structure, and then communicating that to staff, working with admin between like contract and, you know, just kind of hard week before Thanksgiving. So I just wanted to shout out to her. And also, we have been doing a lot of work in our instructional leadership team. So I wanted to shout out to Jessica Hanlon and Javier Del Rio, who are always game for my kind of wild and crazy giant dream ideas. Talk me down, and also help me make a plan. And then Alyssa Barber, who has been doing a great job of making sure that we are aligning our OSAS or Smarter Balance data and information into what we're teaching in the classroom so that we're not measuring apples when it comes to OSAS and oranges when it comes to giving credit, but we're really making sure those things are aligned. And lastly, but certainly not least, just to build on some of what our student reps said, our legacy and spirit at Phoenix High School is at a all-time high. At our next rally, I really invite you to come. That's in December. I'll send you an email invite. But that is because of the students' commitment to ensuring that all students are seen and heard and are represented on the floor. And so we talk about that at length. I'm really proud of them for presenting 2 workshops at OASC. We went through from not going or attending that conference at all to now being some of the top presenters, which is amazing. And the last 3 years is how long it's taken. And again, just got wonderful feedback from SOU about their presence in the symposium that Rachel talked about and just how impressive our students were. They actually got to spend time with SOU students and might have impressed people more than the college students. Awesome.
Good evening, board. Heather Lowe, principal over talent. First away, first and foremost, happy World Kindness Day. Did you know that? It is. So be kind to everybody. It's a message I say, 100 times a day. Elementary. I did want to give a quick update and shout out on our inclusion efforts, especially thanks to our kindergarten teams. You know, when we welcome those little 5-year-olds in our doors and we sometimes do not know what we're getting. They've had early childhood intervention and it's just, it's a journey navigating those waters and ensuring, you know, the safety and the support that everybody needs throughout it. But, you know, I was just in a room this week and I was like, holy cow, these are a whole different group of kids. They're just sitting there learning, like they've been doing it a lifetime. So I just want to thank, you know, our teams that are working in kindergarten, especially for that work. Also, we have our fall family conferences coming up here on the 24th and 25th. And I'm really excited. Our goal is to have 100% attendance at those. I think we can do it. Our teachers are working really hard to schedule everybody in, meeting everyone's needs. So kudos to them. And then a little update, the Talent Artisans Market is coming back to Talent Elementary, which hasn't happened since COVID. So we're excited to welcome them back. That will be happening over that weekend of Thanksgiving. So, and more importantly, our second graders from Mrs. Bunk Morales's bilingual second grade class are partnering with the Artisans Market as part of their community service project. So they're providing the advertising for them, which is really fun. And then last but not least, tomorrow is Ruby Bridges Day. And so we will be celebrating our talent with a walk and roll event. So having a good time all around.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Anna Schlein, principal at Phoenix Elementary, but I'm also standing in for Kent Lanier. He's dealing with some family stuff right now, so I'm going to be channeling Orchard Hill first. Ken writes, as part of our district-wide efforts to support families and students to increase attendance, we've been doing some fun activities to recognize staff attendance at Orchard Hill. Thanks to the creativity of Holly Swift and all adults submit daily attendance tickets to a raffle. Each Friday, one staff member wins a Starbucks Monday and another is selected for a week of preferential parking. While it's not much, it sends a message to kids that adult attendance matters too. And I know you guys just looked at attendance, so there's that. Also want to share that yesterday we had our distributed leadership team meetings, but we've changed things up a bit and we also meet in district teams on those days as well. So I'm part of the math implementation leadership team and we had only 5 people who were present yesterday, but 2 of them were Orchard Hawk teachers, Jamie Cross and Sarah Price. And together they were working on a system so that would allow teachers to get into each other's classrooms without administrative presence, but just really learning from each other. It's helpful to be observed and it's helpful to just witness each other. So they're working on a plan for that to bolster our math strategies that we're working on. And then Jamar Boyd and Zoe Boyles are working on a plan to work on SBAC strategies to help support our 3rd through 5th grade teachers in implementing some really cool SBAC work. So I just want to give all of those math leaders some a shout out and just it's real collaborative and wonderful display of leadership. And then finally, last week we attended an Oregon RTI session with a lot of the SPED representation and our title teachers. And so Sarah Ingstrom is up top there. I got to spend some time with her. We're just ending our first round of intervention cycles, and we're spending a lot of time really dissecting and really looking at the impact of that intervention and really working to see, like, are our interventions, how fine-tuned are they? So Sarah Ingstrom is doing a great job over there as the Title I teacher, so I wanted to give her a shout out as a hawk. So that's the news from Portrait Hill. And then finally at PEX, I just want to echo the same sentiment around Title I. Sean Spillane is our Title I teacher. Just an amazing, we're learning a lot in terms of really strengthening our tier 2. So just want to give him a shout out. And then lastly, collaboration is the name of the game. Our 4th and 5th grade teachers are doing a great job taking our interventions and then working as a team to provide support for the whole group as a whole. And then our 3rd and 4th and 5th grade teachers are also collaborating. Zoe Wales has been our OBOP teacher for the last 2 years, and the team has stepped up, and now we have literally like 7 leaders. And so we have practices in the morning, we have practices at 2 different lunches, and so there's no reason that any 3rd or 4th or 5th grade teacher or student who wants to participate in OBOP can participate in OBOP, which is really awesome. And then keep going on, and I have 2 more, sorry. Migrant Ed started today, so we have a Migrant Ed after school program that happens between now and May. And so we have 2 PES teachers, Erica Caserati and Carrie Baker, are teaching, and then we have Bertha Wangler and Crystal Meza who are supporting that. So I want to give them a shout out. It's a pretty long commitment, but we think it's going to really help support our students. And then finally, I just want to give a shout out to our behavior team. We have Erica Caserati and Baba Rylance. And right now, what's really cool is back in the day when they were doing a lot of responding. There was like meeting everybody's needs, but right now they're spending a lot of their time doing preventive work. So really building student skills, meeting the needs before events happen. And so I just want to give them a shout out. That's it for me. Oh,
Aaron Coffey, principal at PTRA, et cetera. Emily, one of the things you said resonated with me in your report. I don't know what to say, sir. So from PTRA, since last we met, our students attended our Pheasant Fields Farm annual tour, our annual field trip. It was our best turnout ever for families. We had parents, grandparents, siblings out there. They got to do the hay rides and pick pumpkins and check out the animals. So it's always a great trip. It's one of the best attended trips we do, along with wildlife images. And I want to thank Joe Zavala. He's great around the district, doing amazing things, documenting what happens here every day. And so he does a really great job getting into our in-person classroom activities as well as our field trips. So I want to thank him as well. Then the other thing is we have an Oregon Tennis Cohort site visit coming to our district next week, next Wednesday, the 19th. We're going to be based largely in the Phoenix High School Rose Theater. That is going to have 13 districts attending from all over the state, including Umatilla, Hillsborough, and all over the place. So we're excited about hosting that. We've got 13 districts, 1 ESD, COSA membership will be here, or COSA leadership will be here, as well as ODE folks. So it's really a statewide event. So we're really excited about it. We're going to get to talk about some of this good attendance that's happening for us right now, as well as what's happening in the rest of the state. It's a really collaborative effort. This is year 3 of this process. We're excited about it. We're going to have over 40 attendees. And one of the things that I'm excited about is a panel in the middle of the event that's going to include some staff, some parents, some students, talking about how attendance interacts with their daily life, what we're doing as a district to support their attendance, and maybe some ideas that we can use moving forward. So you guys are all welcome. That's in the Rose Street Theater on Wednesday. So that's it for me.
Yeah. At first I thought you said tennis. Like,
Oh, I was supposed to attend tennis?
oh, we do have a cool tennis for a second.
little sleep down there.
Hi, Amy, food service. I just wanted to give a big shout out and thanks to John, Candace, and Yasmin actually for helping with getting all the bids and figuring out usage plans for our additional overage of funds in food service that we have this year. It's like the Christmas that just keeps giving here in food service. So we're really looking forward to some of our new toys and how that really helps continue to support us as we make those improvements on more scratch cooking and local cooking in the schools. And speaking of the scratch local cooking, We have coming up our farm fresh Thanksgiving and winter holiday meals, and I think there might be some invites in there for you guys. Would love to see you guys pop into any of the schools for either or both of them and come enjoy some of our new local stuff Chef Ryan's been working on, and we'll be working to really make those special for the kids and families. And finally, I'd like to share from our first parent menu review group at Talent Elementary that we have identified an action plan out of that from some of the communication. And we're gonna make sure that we have a minimum of 2 egg or higher protein hot options on the menu starting in January. And that's just some of those action plans that can come out of that feedback and, you know, that information from the families. We also still have that survey going on, so if anybody hasn't done it, students too, please get on there, because we really do like to take that feedback to make some of those action plans and changes that you see in food service.
Awesome.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What time, like, what time? It has the December 18th date, but I'm not sure, like, the time. Does it vary by school, right?
It does. So I will send out, or maybe Denise will help me if I send to Denise, a schedule for all of the schools and their meal times for those days.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
And I want to say happy birthday to you.
Oh, thank you.
At School board conference, and I heard the little birds told me that you were not there because you were doing something fun.
It's true. I did get to go to San Francisco for my birthday weekend.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
awesome.
so happy for
But
you.
I hope to be at the next one with you guys. I hope you had fun there with it. It's really exciting that Sodexo's kind of getting back into some of those and
Yeah.
entertaining with you guys. So
Great.
I like the first Future Chef event that I was ever here. I promised I wouldn't do it again. Now I know that that occurs on my birthday, so I won't do that again.
Okay.
I just want to say, I mean, thank you for all the great work that you do, Amy, and your team. And I can't recall a time where I've seen us renew a contract, go through the process and renew a contract and see. So, not that it was bad before, but the changes that are being made and implemented are very palpable and it's very evident. And I appreciate all the hard work for you or your team, really, you know, and bringing Ryan in and just all of those efforts we see it and we appreciate it. So thank you.
Well, thank you. And you guys also help make it possible with that partnership and
Sure.
giving us those resources to
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
So thank
Yeah.
you too.
Yep. Thank you so much. Okay, citizen comments. Do we have anybody?
We had some people online, but I think one is applied for the budget, and then the other person, I don't know.
Okay.
If they have a comment or not, but
Do we have-
hopefully if they do, they can put it in the
Who
chat.
was on?
Oh, she says no, or that person says no comment.
Okay,
I assume she, because
all
it's
right.
a pretty picture.
Okay. Is there anybody in the audience who wishes to address the board? No. Okay. PTA, OSCA Association updates. Do we have anyone from PTA or OSCA? Okay. All right. Superintendent report.
Thanks, Chair Campbell. I just want to go back to the attendance workshop we're hosting and just thank Aaron and Heather for really kind of spearheading that. We have a partner from the state that's actually helping gathering people, and we thought we were going to be able to hold it in the conference room, then maybe the adult learning center, and it's grown to where we're going to be in the theater. So good problem to have, and really look forward to learning from our colleagues and sharing all the good things that we're doing. And I think you've heard it before, but Heather and Shauna are going to be kind of the keynotes on what they presented at the national conference as far as family engagement. So thank you both for that. Want to take this time this week, we celebrated Veterans Day, and we have many staff and volunteers who have served our country. I want to take this moment to honor and thank them, one being our very own Rick Nagel. And we stand in honor to OSBA, and we missed him at that point, but any other veteran in the room, just thank you for your service or online. Want to let you know, and thank you to Yasmin, we have, I don't even know if it's an opportunity, we actually had to do this because our 403B plan was sunsetting, and so we had to look at other options for our retirement accounts that we offer our staff to put into. And so through Yasmin's work over the last several months, We are looking at two different options now, really expanding the flexibility. It's similar to local districts. I think this will be something that benefits our staff a lot. We will have more information at our meeting, maybe next week, a little bit, but for sure in December for you to look at. And then the last thing I had is just the Boys and Girls Club information in your packets that they sent a report about. So they're a great partner. That's all I have.
Any questions for Brent? Okay, next we have a program report for Lincoln County Farm to School.
Yeah, this is really exciting, and I think this is really what set Sodexo apart when we were going through the RFP and looking at more locally sourced foods to get into our cafeterias and utilize for our meal service. We actually ended up doing a second interview and really wanted to focus on this exact program. And Patty came down kind of like the closer and knocked it out of the park. And so we thought it'd be great to hear from them, and they're from Lincoln County. She has her colleague Paige, who's actually a Lincoln County employee, school district employee, but they're here to share a little bit about what they do and what we can learn from. Yasmin and I met with the team earlier today and just learned a ton. I'm really excited about the possibilities of what we can do. So all yours.
Just want to introduce myself. My name is Patty Graves, and I am the Sodexo GM manager for Lincoln County School District. My counterpart here is this evening is Jamie Nicholson. She is on the Lincoln County School District side. She's the child program manager. It's who keeps me in line. Gotta be smarter than the thing.
There you get it, yeah.
So, we know, and only, what makes our farm to school most successful is we are truly a team. And it is, our teamwork definitely makes our dream work, and it starts clear at the top from our superintendent. Miley Tolan, our business manager, Kim Kuzak, our CMP manager, Jamie. And then we just recently hired, a new school garden coordinator, Scott Barker. Sarah retired last summer. And then our school garden champions, which is actually a teacher or counselor in each building that works with our school garden coordinator, Scott, and they kind of champion whatever's going on in their school to help support him. And then we do have a food service manager as well, Becca Smith. She's not really truly, she is kind of like our executive chef, but she also helps me keep, the district running on the Sodexo side. And then this couldn't happen without our Sodexo kitchen team, and they truly are the foundation of our program. So just some facts. Lincoln County School District is located on the beautiful Central Oregon coast. We serve about 4,400 students at 12 schools, and our district is spread out to about the size of Rhode Island. So when you travel from one school to the other school, you through there could take the whole day. We are 100% CEP, which is community eligibility provision. We support school meals, all of the school meals there, all those lovely acronyms. We support the farm to school. We have a passion for farm to school. And we also have a school district food pantry that we started in 2020. And we have a passion to connect and build long-lasting partnerships that support the community. And I'm going to turn this over to Jamie. She's the one who keeps us out of jail.
Hi, I'm Jamie Nicholson, Lincoln County School District. I appreciate you letting me come and talk to you tonight. We don't take ourselves too serious, because if you did that, it would be a really boring day. So yes, I keep us out of jail. Mostly oversee the financial side of the food service. Yeah, your business manager here is the one that does that for you. I handle procurement, and then all the compliances, the federal, the state, the local, school policy, Sodexo policy. I find the balance between all that and make things work. People tell us we can. Thank you. And this is Patty, and she's our Sodexo GM. What food service management companies bring to our table is affordable meal planning, training systems,
all that registered dietitian pieces that we have to meet in compliance. They bring that all to the table for us. Patty is pretty hands-on in our school district, so the picture on the right there, she was out cleaning the onions that day from our garden. And that's us at a local event. We were a scarecrow and a sunflower, so. And then their little note at the bottom, if she ever makes anything and she's cooked it, just take it and eat it because it'll be delicious, I promise. We're kind of a big deal. We're not just boasting. Our collaboration efforts with our food service management have made this all possible. We win awards. We just won the National Award for Rural Schools Innovation and Meals, which is a very big deal to us. We have a big presence in the Farmer School Conference, so the pictures on the right are our presentations. They call us to present, so because we've figured out the process so well, and then we pass it on to other schools and hopefully build other programs and help. And then the pictures on the left of the screen, that's USDA came to our schools and asked us what works and what doesn't, and we were pretty honest with what doesn't work so that we can hopefully build a foundation for school districts to be successful. So we have a lot of different growing in Lincoln County. Our grow towers are one of our highlights. We are very rainy. We can't be outside most of the year, so our grow towers sort of take those the place of those. If you've never seen a hydroponic garden, it's very impressive. We can pump lettuce and herbs out of those things like crazy, and the kids just, I can't even explain it. It's like moth to the little flicker, right? I mean, they love it and they get so engaged. And you can see the bucket there on the right is some of the lettuce that they had harvested off, and everything that we harvest goes into our school meals. So this is our transition kids. We have a transition program in our school district, and these are students who are learning life skills. And they have 3 grow towers. Last month, they provided 50 pounds of lettuce and herbs to our food service program. We will never have to buy basil again. Just a couple quick pictures of some of our harvests from our garden. We're really proud of the food that the kids grow. And when the kids bring that to our kitchens and then come back for lunch later and see what they have put all their hard work in and then are able to share that with their classmates, it's very rewarding.
Tell them about the onions.
Oh, that was our first crop of onions, and we grew a lot, probably too many. And so we were like flagging people down on the track to take onions home. We were just, anywhere we could get rid of them, we were trying to get rid of them because we had way too many of them. Couple pictures of some of our gardens. On the left, the bottom corner there is the elementary school. That's a K2 school. When we start gardens in K2 schools, those are very just sensory, and we don't get a lot of harvest out of that. It's about building the passion for it. We can never get a carrot out of there because they rip it out of the ground and they eat it. It's on the vine, they rip it off and eat it. So we have to be careful what we plant because they will eat it. But radishes are really fun to grow. They're a quick turnaround, and to watch them outside is amazing. We have a small area that's got tables, and then we have little mini chairs so they can have reading time out there, and make it an outdoor classroom when we can be outside. And then that top center corner picture there, that's our magician Jan up there on the right. And she can pretty much take anything that we bring from the garden and make it compliant with OBE. So I think one day they brought her peppers and she made like a roasted pepper hummus thing with, I don't know, she just is, it's magic. So she can make use of everything. And then Leanne, she's actually our magic fairy is what we call her. And she just is so excited about everything, and it bleeds into to kids and the whole school. So it's wow. We are working on exploring more traditional foods. We do have the Selects tribe in our school district, and so we try to celebrate some of their traditions. We grow a 3 Sisters garden, and so the corn there that you see, we've been growing the same corn for 6 years. So the kids plant it, harvest it, cure it, gather the corn seeds, save some to plant next year, and then they grind it up and make cornbread for their school meal.
Right? And in that bed, there's also sunchokes. And so, we use that in some of the stews and stuff during, Native American Heritage Month. And then we did some corn husk things, for Hispanic night, and then the picture down on the bottom, that's actually it, on the far right, that, steelhead was native farmed. There's a tribe of, there that they're the only ones that can farm that steelhead on the Columbia River, and so we were able to purchase that, support them. Good for us. So garlic is a big deal in our school district. We also are on year 6 of planting garlic and using our own. And because we're very excited about it, we had our first annual garlic festival this year, right after school started. It was a district-wide event. We had vendors, we had garlic braiding. Most of the event was free to the public, so all of our community could participate in some way. We did collect some donations and things for a little bit of fundraiser to support our food pantry and our school gardens, but our superintendent's comment was best event ever that we had ever put on for the school district, hands down. We had easily over 1,000 people show up, and that's a big deal in our place.
She also challenged me. I was at a board meeting, or she was at some sort of meeting with me, and she said, you know, we should have a garlic festival. And I said, how big do you want one? And so she said, are you serious? And I said, let's have one. So
It's amazing.
So here's some examples of Jan's magic, where this all started. We also do a beautiful shrimp ceviche from Pacific Seafood that's right there in Newport, where we're from. Kids get to eat edible flowers on the salad bar. I mean, really anything that they can grow, we figure out a way to put it into meals. This is pork pozole. Those tomatillos we grew. Just a note, if you live on the coast ever and you plant tomatillos, only plant one plant because they grow really, really well. And we had so many tomatillos, we didn't know what to do with them, so. To support our local food, we have a Farm Fresh Friday, 2 days a week, or 2 Fridays a month, 2 Fridays a month. And we taste test it, whatever the product is gonna be beforehand, and then we serve it on that Friday. We try to celebrate the rancher or farmer that we are serving. We put them in our newsletter, and then we try to get as many kids to participate as we can. Some of our other Farm Fresh Fridays, mostly it's a beef or a protein product. We're really excited about serving seafood. Obviously, we live on the coast and that's a big deal to us, so good seafood is always good. But we do have a small amount of ranchers in our area, and we try to support all of that. So the center one is the last one we did, and that is a tamale pie. Homemade cornbread with a local lady's corn out of Portland. The beef came from a new beef provider. He just opened shop in Toledo, Oregon, which you probably never heard of that, but it's there and it exists. And he's doing wonderful beef out of it, so.
and it's scratch made beef stroganoff, and then the sandwich is our tuna melt with our local tuna. There's our shrimp ceviche. The nice thing, just a quick story, this young lady, her family owned that boat, her dad retired, she purchased the boat from her father. She was a Newport High graduate senior, so it was full circle. We bought her tuna and brought it back into the schools. So it is truly a family connection and a circle, the full circle of, so we're really proud, and she was so excited.
That's Miffy, and she's the one that we buy the mix from to create that cornbread. She has a vision to have zero waste in food everywhere and to create food that kids will eat that is low in sugar. She has recipes where schools can take, let's say you get bananas and they're ready to turn. Instead of throwing them away, she has a way to mix them into her mixes so that we could not waste them and add flavor to our food. And this Swabish Farms, we actually do a farm adoption with our middle school there. So the kids get to go visit that farm, and then we pick up pallets of their frozen vegetables that we use on our salad bars and parfaits, things like that. And then the butternut squash we use in some of our soups. So when we go to purchase local foods. We're a very small community and we always like to vet the people that we purchase from to ensure that we're not gonna end up on the front page of, you know, oh, Lincoln County served bad beef to somebody. And so we actually go out and tour the farms that we purchase from and we make a direct connection with that farmer. We use a food web or a food hub to support us to kind of build a cooperation to get us lower prices, so we buy it. This is very beneficial to our area. So Gibson Farms, they don't run a lot of cattle, but for them it is a lot of cattle. And in years past, they would be at farmers market and she had posts on Facebook trying to sell all of her beef. And it's a lot of legwork to sell and get rid of all of her stock. Well, in school meals, we can serve 3,000 servings of something a day. We cleaned every ounce of her freezer out in one order. It lasted us 2 days, 3 days. The next week, her husband flipped the tractor on their farm and had to be life flighted out. Had we not purchased that, they wouldn't have had the funds to make it through the winter till next fall. And that money went right back into our community. So it just shows how important it is to support those businesses.
So one of the things that we do on the Sodexo side is to cut down waste is at the end of the day, if you have like 50 burgers or something left over, we work with nonprofits and what happens is we have an agreement with them. They come and pick up like our burgers that instead of throwing in the garbage, they come and pick up our burgers. We donate them to them. The Homie House is a perfect example. It's an after-school program that is started downtown in Toledo. And the kids go there for after school for help for like, studies or just to hang out, some safe place to hang out. They pick up our leftovers, hamburgers and whatever our entrees are or sandwiches. They take them down and they refrigerate them or they freeze them right away. And so when their kids come in, they can just grab a burger or whatever and microwave it and it stops the food from going in the garbage. And it also helps with the food insecurities that we have in our county. And so we've done this with Bracelet. They're not, unfortunately aren't there anymore, but it was a homeless shelter. So it is something that if you have somebody in your community that has like an after school process or has something going on and they're struggling to help feed kids, this is something that you can reach out and we can have a discussion on how it truly works. We really, basically, they have to sign an agreement saying that they promise to refrigerate and keep things refrigerated and frozen under a certain amount. And then when they reheat, they have to reheat it. And they sign also on their MOU that they don't hold us liable for practices that happen once they pick it up. But it's very successful. It keeps the food out of the landfill. And it's really rewarding and, kids are hungry, so.
So we make use of everything we can in our kitchens. We donate what we can. The items that are left, we try to work with our local sanitation companies and we were building green teams at a lot of our schools. And so they have compost and we've made arrangements with the sanitation companies. They come and pick up a little more often for those compost buckets. And so it's a way to really just minimize our waste altogether. We estimate about 750,000 pieces of plastic silverware we're saving also by switching to reusable items. So we switched to reusable plates, baskets, and silverware. And that was kind of an effect after COVID because everything had to be wrapped and we had so much trash and kids didn't like it. And so Thompson Sanitation actually came in and laid a tarp out after lunch service and they dumped all the garbage on a tarp and they sorted it out and weighed it. And then a year later, they did it and did a comparison. And they went from like 2 trash cans or 3 trash cans to like a bag, basically.
Wow.
So it was a huge, huge difference. The kids are really proud of that program. It's actually integrated into a couple middle school classes and a CTE class as well. So very cool. Patty mentioned we have a food pantry, and so COVID also showed us that we had kids and there were gaps that we were not meeting. And so we have a food pantry. We write grants for that. We take donations. We have designated cheerleaders in each of our schools that connect with families and identify the high need kids. We have people in our community that don't qualify for federal assistance SNAP benefits for various reasons. And so they have no access to foods, like some of our other low income families. And so we support them out of a safe building separate from our school districts. And yeah, and then the picture on the left, those are more transition kids. And so the gentleman squatting down, he's in charge of our food pantry and he keeps inventory of it. He keeps it organized and it is his baby and he will tell us what we need to put back in it. So. And so what's the most important thing when we're talking about building this sort of partnership? It's really communication. So Patty and I, when something comes to the table, we talk about everything, what's going to benefit both of us, what can we afford, what we can't afford, will it meet our end goal? And it really has made a difference in how our success has been measured.
Sorry. Sorry, I blew up.
So when we went out for RFP, we adjusted our contract with ODE. So they send you these templates and everyone's scared to touch them. But we wanted more, and so we asked for it. We made our wants very clear as a school district, and Sodexo stepped up and met those wants. The things that they couldn't meet, we were able to negotiate a compromise in those things, so we still were getting very close to what we wanted. And, you know, Sodexo is a corporation, right? I'm a school district, they're a corporation, they're a business, but that contract holds them legally responsible for the things that I've asked for. And so when you're looking at it as a business point, it really is a good move on our part. And we just can change those to ask for anything that we want. And so I encourage anybody who's going out for RFP to really shoot for the stars and, you know, get what you want out of your people.
And if we can't do it, we'll be honest. But we always come up with a compromise. There's gotta be some way to make. Oh, sorry, see, I probably will.
And then, you know, for me, just because we're rural and we're low income, doesn't mean our kids don't deserve the best. And that's really what we want. So, that's what we have. That's what we are. Again, we don't take ourselves too seriously. We're very fortunate that the people on our team are passionate and that passion just helps build everything and keep it running. So that's it. And then, wait, one more. I have to show you the civil rights. Because we talked about school meals and that's part of the ODE compliance. So I did that. There you go.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Hopefully some of those products were already starting to look familiar.
Yeah. Thank you for driving all the way down. Be here
We got
tonight.
to visit Phoenix High School today and
Awesome.
have a very beautiful facility. We're
Thank
very
you.
blessed. It's
Yes.
a wonderful facility. I
Yes.
got to meet with business manager, our
Awesome.
superintendent. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Well, our community came together several years ago and Costa Bond, but it's a nice facility.
We just started ours. Yeah.
Congrats, congrats. Thank you so much. That was really, really awesome. Okay, next is a consent agenda. Do I have a motion for approval?
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Thank you.
I will second it.
Thank you, Don. Any objections or anything that needs to be pulled off the consent agenda? Hearing none, consent agenda is approved. Information and discussion, legislative OSBA update.
Okay, so I'm gonna talk about cleanup. I think you all heard enough of the doom and gloom from the road show and from OSBA convention. So, there's a lot going on a lot of the time. And so I try to send out stuff from OSBA, but I'm telling you, OLIS, which is the state website, is your best friend. And so if you want to know anything about that, I put dates. I finally gave Denise stuff before the meeting and I put dates. that we had went through at OSBA Roadshow that are coming up. So the next dates that are coming up are legislative days. And just in case you don't know what a legislative day is it's when everybody goes up to the Capitol. There's a lot of talk about, they're gonna be talking about bills, they're gonna be talking about what they want change, and they're also gonna have committee meetings. So it's just a really busy time. So on the OLS, you can check and see the committee meetings. Just, I'm gonna highlight a few if you don't mind. The joint, Ways and Means for Education will be meeting November 18th. And they will be going over reduction options for early learning, for education and higher education. All meetings are live and recorded. Right now, there's no there are only workshops. So there's no input from the public at this time, but it's kind of cool because the legislators are learning the same time as we are. And so I think it's a great gauge to also kind of see what the legislators' concerns are, so you can contact them later and say, hey, this is a concern, or contact them. So that's one meeting I would look at. There's also the Public Education Joint Committee. That one doesn't have much information yet right now. The Senate Education, they're going to be meeting on November 18th. And they're going to talk about some ODE investigations and playful learning and artificial intelligence in education. So if that's your jam, you might want to check into that. And then the House will be meeting on the 17th, and they're going to talk about outdoor ed. They're going to have an update on the cell phone ban that the governor put out. And that will be interesting, I'm sure. And then they're going to also talk about the accountability and what that has done so far. So that, I think the House is going to be one that I'm going to watch for sure. But I just wanted you all to know, and you can watch them later. Or if you're really savvy, you can put the Ask AI to give you an update on that. So that's what's coming up. As most of you all were at the annual convention, and our group, Brent left early, and I didn't tell you your assignments yet, Brent, but you got some. Our group was very, we talked about it for like 45 minutes, very into our legislative reception. We're coming up. Rams Pass will be hosting it. We're going to be just talking about funding is the only topic we're going to have. We decided that we're going to do it as a presentation format. We're going to hopefully have PowerPoints and data from each school about what mandates. This is where you're going to be involved. Tim Sweeney will. So he said Brett will be on board. So we're going to have a presentation with graphics and stuff of all of the major like unfunded mandates of how much unemployment costs us, how much PERS costs us, things that are not actually going to students as much, and things that we have no ability to cut, so that they can tell a lot. We had conversations that a lot of people are stuck on our student average and compare it with other states. And we met a group from Texas, and they were like, oh, they got smaller amount of money for their students than we did, but they don't pay PERS out of there, they don't pay unemployment, and their state doesn't have a special education cap. So they probably get actually more per student than we do. So put that to kind of just educate that, because we're going to have to make some cuts, and we want the legislators to know, like, all this we can't cut, and what we can cut is here, and this is what is affecting students, just to kind of help them understand. So we'll be working hard on that, and I'll be sending out emails on that. And if staff has any ideas for me, that would be awesome as well. I think I've covered everything.
I'll just tag on to that. Thanks for the homework assignment. And
I think it was for a work meeting, but nonetheless, you still looked early.
I will say, it it'll be really interesting to see what ODE shares in the accountability house. Education meeting, because I think it is, I'm part of a team with two other superintendents looking at. What measures are important and what we should be measuring and how we should be measuring that. And it is very sometimes challenging conversation to get narrow ODE down on really what reporting measures they currently have and what actually the possibilities could be. So this is our opportunity to really change the accountability and the reporting structure in our state. And I hope we have the capacity of ODE to be able to really receive that and listen to that. So I will be tuning into that to see the report for the House Education Committee.
I heard it's only a half an hour, which
It is only
what makes me really concerned, because I don't really feel like you can get robust conversation or information in a half an hour, but I think it's a good start. And I also think again, if you see a legislator that's also struggling, that's a good way to connect with them and say, hey, we agree, how can we help further this conversation? Because I've been hearing a lot of, we don't mind being accountable, but ODE needs to be accountable. So sorry to, yeah. Just a little bit of my 2 cents.
Thank you, Dawn. We have a financial update next. We might have to come back to it, though. I think Denise is working on making sure it's on board book. So do we have any committee reports? Oh, let's hear it.
At the safety interagency meeting way back in October the 15th.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of talk about Ernie Whiteman's assessment. And some of the things that were addressed in that are already being
Good.
fixed by John and his team. There was a lot of talk about the new cameras and the new areas. I'm just gonna highlight something that Shauna said about the new cameras, was that the bathroom bandits were caught. I loved that a lot. I thought that was hilarious.
They're not in the bathroom, just I just want to make that.
Yeah, no,
Cameras are not in the
Appreciate
state.
that.
but the bandits were caught going in there.
But we love your attendance data.
We got
We gotta
the
show up to get in trouble too.
opioid recovery grant and early intervention detection.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I didn't really write anything out. I just have a ton of notes. So if you guys are curious about any of that, I can pass these along to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I really appreciate Rebecca and Rick's participation on that. I think again, it's quarterly, it's really important. After that state schools meeting, we had a debrief with Ernie on the reunification drill. And he had a whole list of things that, positives and things to improve on. And we sent that out to all the participants. Joe synthesized that, sent it out to all the participants. And so when we do that next time, we will be able to improve on some of those things that came up during that drill.
Awesome, thank you. Now we can go back to the financial update. Should be there for everybody. Maybe refresh if you don't see it.
Yasmin, if you can get a microphone, that'd be great. The recently added financial report is in your packet, and there are still a little bit of changes, and Yasmin's gonna talk to you a little bit about that to hopefully clarify some of the overall budget things.
Can you see where Nancy is? She's asking her to open the door. I don't know where she's at.
Well, maybe.
I don't know which door. Thank you.
You should have brought her back.
Okay, so it should be good evening, everybody. Is on? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I noticed that some of you were kind of confused with the layout of the report before. So I decided to simplify it a little bit.
Okay.
Let me know if you like it better. We can keep it this way or we can go back or actually rework it to do something differently.
Okay.
I got some ideas from different school districts and I just kind of put my own thing together, okay? So we have the revenues and expenditures through October. I didn't really change anything for the estimates I have for expenditures because it's too early in the year to change them. You know, we're just kind of working through some of the positions that are being hired right now and making sure we have all the benefits included. So I will be updating those estimates as we move along throughout the year. For revenues, I changed a few, based on, like, we received already the property tax levy letter from the county. We received most of our property taxes in November, so I'll have a better update of what we're gonna be receiving. But in the meantime, based on what I saw, the amount that we have in the receipts from last year and the average from years before, I estimate about 96%. So that's why it went up a little bit, it's only 70,000 more, but we'll keep an eye on it, hopefully a little bit more. The state school fund, if you recall, we had budget at 11.4 billion. Back then, that's what we were estimating, based on the governor's budget. And it ended up being at 11.26, so that's why our state school fund is 200,000 less. Also, the ADMs are a little bit lower than what we estimated at the time, so that's why it's 200. The difference between 11.4 and 11.26 is only like $80,000. But we always have funding corrections, the funding formula, and the ADMs as well, so that all leads to the factor to change the actual allocation at the end. So right now it's showing that we have an excess of 592,000 from what we have projected for the ending fund balance, which is 1% more than what was budgeted. So right now it's at 19.9%. Let me know if you have any questions while I'm going through this, because I know it's a different view of the report, so let me know if you have any questions. Okay,
Hold on, I might, yeah,
okay,
oh, maybe you're gonna get to, are you gonna explain the estimated ending fund balance and?
the difference.
Yes, yes.
So to begin with, as of right now, we don't have any budget or audit adjustments. So we're spending at an 11.252 big fund balance. We had estimated 10.53 million for the budget. So we started with 722 million, 722,000 more. With the decrease on revenues that I just talked about, that's the only thing that I have here as a difference. You know, I didn't include anything else with expenditure so far. So that's why we have 592,000 that originally estimated.
I was looking at the bottom where it says estimated ending fund balance. Should I say that? So the budgeted is 9.25 million, and then the actual year to date is 16.6.
Right, that is through October. The reason why is because we received the House Bill 4026
From the grant, okay.
in July.
That's right. That's right. You already told us that.
Yes,
Okay.
and that's the reason why it's so high.
Yeah.
Last year's was only, let me see if I have it here. So if you go to the next page, I have some graphs. And that was the part of the report that was on your right hand side before the comparison year to date from the current year to the prior year. And as you can see on the general fund revenues, the big difference is the House Bill 4026 revenue. Because we didn't receive the 23-24 allocation until, I want to say, February or March of this year. Whereas the 24-25 allocation we received on July 3rd. So,
Right. Yeah, I remember.
So last year, the ending fund balance at this time was only 9.73 billion. And going back to the graphs, other than that, as you can see, the trends for general fund expenditures, they just kind of follow along one year to another. It's only a small percentage that is higher for this year. but it's pretty much the same size. The last part of the report, I included the general obligation bond and the construction excess tax that we did before. So, the report reads the same way. The actual year to date right now, our balance for the bond is 1.947 million. And I haven't made any changes to what was budgeted before. I will have a better estimate for you next week, just based on the actual amount that we may spend this year. When we budget for the bond or the capital excise tax fund, we appropriate the full amount just in case we need it. So that's why we always end up with that $0 in balance. But at the end, during the year, we may not spend the full amount. So I will have a discussion with John and see what we have besides what I anticipate already in conferences, if there's anything else that we can do. Okay, and for construction excise tax fund, we have 326,000 at the end of October. And this amount will increase once we receive those energy rebates
Yeah.
from the Department of Energy, then that amount will increase as well. And that's all I have for you now.
Thank you.
We, the only thing I have to add is, I was at an OASBO conference or meeting just on Wednesday, and they were giving us some updates regarding the increases to the budget that they had asked the legislators to only 2%. At this point, they just want to make sure that we know that it's not actual budget cuts, it's just something that they're presenting to the legislators. And that's gonna be decided until during the 2026 session. So, most likely, if depending on what they choose, it might be just like 0.5% of the state school fund. I will have to get some estimates and I'll have better estimates for you for next week of what that will be throughout this week. So we're talking about a possible 58 million. But then again, you know, it depends on what the legislators decide to do at that. Okay, but I'll work with grants and I'll get all the systems ready for the work session.
So yeah, next week, a part of our work session is just really looking at the budget and the impacts, and it'll be literally a real-time conversation because you saw those legislative meetings that are happening on the 18th and 19th, and so, but we'll have some time to really dig in and see where we are, have some updated numbers. And see where we can advocate at that point to share with the legislature on what's important to us. And just one thing, when I've been sharing with legislature or COSA or what, it's if there's money not out the door yet that's been dedicated in this biennium, maybe start looking at some of those things, because cutting state school funds mid-year is a big challenge. So those are some line items that we're really asking ODE to really look at and say, hey, these aren't out the door yet. Maybe people aren't even planning on them yet. And let's look at those billions of dollars first.
They are telling state agencies to prepare for mid-year cuts from 0.5 to 5%. And I'm just wondering have we done the exercise from taking that whole range, because I'm hearing it could land on the higher end of that. So have we done the exercise to go and look at what that would look like for us?
Yes, and that will be part of what I've been working on to see what if that translates into for our district, because out of the carve-outs, there's some that they're not going to touch at all.
Right.
So that's why there's a lot of different pieces that play into this platform. So that's why I want to see what it means for us.
Sure.
In going from 1.5 to 5%.
Yeah.
I think we know Yasmin and our team really they're experts in leveraging all funding sources that come into our districts. And that's, I think, where we've had some really solid financial numbers. It's going to get tougher and tougher as we continue to do that. We do have contingency built into this budget too, to see where that can help. You know, when we talk people or programs and stuff and things of that nature. So.
You have any more questions?
Thank you.
So did you like this better or the other one?
I like the other one, but that's just me. I don't know how everybody else feels. I mean, they're both, it's fine.
He's over here pouring into it.
Okay, I think Rick,
just let me
if Rick likes it better, we're gonna go with that.
Okay.
I have to. Okay, Rick, you let me know.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you, Yasmin.
You're welcome.
Okay, maybe reports. Okay, we have a number of policies. So we'll start with IF district curriculum. Do you have any comments on this one?
No, just they're color coded. This is district staff recommendation. And when I say district staff, a lot of it is Tiffany. So thank you for going all through those. But if you have any questions, blue is our recommended staff language, red's obviously required. And then the other, if there's options, we cross out green language.
Any comments on this one?
I have two questions.
Yes.
One, I think I know the answer, but I wanna clarify that we can still, with this new language, we can still use Tiffany's wonderful rubrics that she has for. She's saying yes, so perfect. And then my second question is that instruction, I believe, I could be wrong, because I'm a little tired this week. But I believe when we did our contract negotiations, that there was some conversation about supplemental material. I'm not exactly sure where we lined it up, but I want to make sure that these new, these changes will continue to be with our contract language, and if not, I'm sure that someone will fix it. Tiffany says someone will fix it. I can't say what Brent says, but I trust Tiffany.
So do we need to make that change before, or is there a change we need to make?
No, I just
So I
want to
don't
make
think
sure,
there is.
I
think it's
just-
following.
I just want to make, just correcting, one, that we can still use rubric, and two, that we're still in compliance with our contract language, and Tiffany is saying yes, so then I trust it and we can move on.
Great. She's nodding, yes, but that was good.
Well, yeah,
Okay, J5 and J6 are ARs that we won't take action on. But any questions or any comments on
It's a lot of red language.
Okay. Okay. J7, instructional materials. This is the new post. So when we cross out that green language, was that just for efficiency's sake or?
Do you mean that?
Yeah,
With the certain groups, a lot of that was my opinion. I felt that sometimes the terminology over time might become outdated
okay,
or might evolve.
okay,
And so by just listing the statute,
Got
I think we could be more inclusive.
yep, got it. Good. Okay. All right. And then there's a corresponding AR. Questions?
Are we? On J6, Michael?
I'm sorry, J8, we're on J8. Water right there, green tossed out for the same reason. J9. So this is, yeah, core instructional materials.
All right.
And there is a. Oh, these are all, yes, yeah. Do we approve these though? As they involve. Those,
Which ones?
All these.
the J9,
No.
J10, okay,
Further.
got it. Any questions on any of those? J9, J10, J11?
And 12, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, and 12, yeah, thank you. I didn't scroll. Okay. Graduation requirements? Comments on that one? Just, y'all read from literally, then the extended on Monday and red. Which we already had, it's just how it shows up in your policy. Okay. All right.
We'll bring all those back beside the ARs for action next time.
Fantastic. Okay, we'll take a recess. 7 minutes and 25 seconds.
Oh,
Yeah, good job. Okay, the next item is interviewing and appointing budget committee candidates. Do we have anybody left? We might have.
there's two people still online.
Okay, great.
Who is it? Joe Schwarter, and then the other person, they haven't typed in who they are, but I believe it's another candidate, and I could guess, but I'd rather not.
Okay, great. We could, we know that.
Oh, it's a parent of the student, not a candidate.
Okay.
Thank you for,
Well,
Bonnie, I appreciate it.
have they thought about being on the budget? Okay.
Well,
So you can ask Joe to come on.
Yeah, we have Mr. Charter, I believe, right?
Mhm.
Could we,
I am here.
Oh,
great.
yay, Joe.
Thank you so much for joining us. And sorry that we made you wait so long. Appreciate you filling out the application to join the budget committee. Maybe we could start with just what makes you want to join the budget committee, and we'll go from there.
Well, I guess I would have to blame my mother was very civic minded and she was, Sunday school superintendent, Americanism chairman, and was a poll worker. Every election she would put in like 20-hour days. So, community service is part of what I do. It's been in my genes. I know Polly and Rick, and I was asked, and I understand there are 2 meetings. I certainly appreciate what you folks do. Many more meetings, a lot more to sift through, but that seems manageable to me.
Great.
I also thought PTSD, those initials, probably I would fit right in.
Appreciate that. Well, and your humor will fit right in.
It will totally fit in.
Do we have anybody else have questions for Mr. Charter?
A statement, I've known Joe for a long time. His application was an understatement of his accomplishment.
100%.
He's an attorney, he is a judge, different levels, this guy is strong.
Thank you.
I feel it'd be a real asset to a budget committee.
Great.
How many seats do we have open right now? Is it just one or is it?
We have 3. We have 3. So, and I don't know that, Mr. Sherman and Ms. Herrick were able to join.
They're at a community, the Thursday night dinners over at the community center in in Phoenix. They're both volunteers at that, and they're at that meeting tonight, at that thing tonight, so they couldn't join.
Okay, well, they,
They could join at another time, I believe.
okay,
So if we wanted to ask them to come at a different one, then.
yeah, okay. Yeah, and I wanted to, Denise asked me today what we wanted to do. I said, let's have a discussion as a board. I would prefer to interview people that we're gonna appoint. I don't know them personally, and some of you may. Being that, I don't anticipate a ton of meetings, but being that this could be potentially a challenging budget season, I would like to have the opportunity to just briefly chat with folks who are interested. So, if we could bring them back, that would be great. And so my recommendation would be to appoint Mr. Charter tonight, and then we still have time. So,
Yeah.
and see if there's another date that we could get our other 2 candidates to come join either in person or virtually.
I agree.
Okay, right.
I just have a
Questions?
question.
Yeah.
So, I agree with that. I'm just wondering, in the past, we haven't interviewed them. But I know that we can always change that. So I was just wondering, when they were given the materials to apply, were they aware of the interview? Okay, thank you.
I think that we had people that were just continuing on the committee, but we
Yeah,
didn't have turnover,
I'm not
right?
familiar with new people that we haven't interviewed. I think when we've had returning people, I've been fine with not interviewing people, but I could be misremembering that.
I could be misremembering as well, so
Okay.
thank you for clarifying,
Okay.
Michael. I am
Okay.
happy with your
Yeah.
answer.
Okay, no, that's totally fine.
Vacancies are there, and we've got 3 applicants.
Yes.
vacancies.
There's 3
There's 3
vacancies.
vacancies.
Mhm. Right, yep. Okay,
Everybody's thinking. You're gonna make them.
well, thank you, Judge Charter. Do we have a motion?
I move to appoint Joe Charter to the budget committee for a 3-year term.
Second.
Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you, Diane. We will vote. Start with you. Yes. Nancy?
Yes.
Polly?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Rebecca?
Yes.
I vote yes. Congratulations.
There you go.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sure I'll be hearing from you. Have a good meeting.
As long as you
Okay.
bring your humor every time you come see
Yes.
us.
Thank you.
It's a permanent one.
Oh boy, this next one's me too. Okay. So before you is, I mentioned this at the last meeting. I'm not sure if everyone was there. I can't remember. Rick wasn't there. Rick wasn't there. Okay. So I have gotten a job with the neighboring district that requires me to attend board meetings. And so I want to thank Denise because she helped kind of comb through our board calendar. And rather than just basing it off of the days, she actually looked at the dates. And what we figured out is it's not too bad. There might be a couple meetings I'd have to miss or work with my employer to miss that meeting. But for the most part, if we're able to shift our meetings in February from Thursday to Wednesday to be the first and third Wednesday of February, and then also March. So the first and third Wednesday of March, and then there's one random day in May that we would shift to Wednesday rather than Thursday. So if the board is okay with that, then I can continue to show up and finish my 4th year as chair before someone else has to do it. So, do I have a motion?
I move to approve the changes to the 25-26 board meeting calendar as presented.
I second that.
Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you, Nancy. Yeah, discussion.
I just wanted to make you aware that 2 of those dates I won't be able to attend.
Shoot.
And
Sorry.
I don't know, I will be traveling home from DC on February 4th. And I might be in Nashville with Pace on March 4th. That one I'm not sure. I am 99% sure I will be traveling home. So I will try to make it, but I'm just letting you know. I think it's more important for you as chair to be here. I just wanted, in case there was quorum issues, I wanted to put that out there.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
Only because I was looking at airlines.
Yeah, you have to do that too.
So, yeah. Okay, thank you. Any more discussion? Okay,
Yes.
Nancy,
Yes.
Polly,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Rebecca?
Yeah.
I vote yes. Thank you all. I really appreciate your flexibility. Okay, LPC nomination. So, well, aren't we voting? We're voting, right?
Yeah.
So we have already 3 nominees.
Where'd they go?
And so our job is to nominate one of those 3 to LPC. Now, does this work? I need a little procedural help here because it's been a while since we've had multiple well, last time it was Sarah running against multiple people, and that was easy. So how does this work? Is it like board officers, or does it function more like an action item? Or like a motion with an action?
I
item?
think she wrote it to the bottom. Right?
Well, there's suggested language. What I don't know is if somebody wants to nominate one person and somebody wants to nominate another.
Right.
Um,
I don't know.
I think it's up to what the board chair, for my viewing other things, I think it's up to what the board chair wants
Okay.
to do.
all right,
If you wanna have the. I've seen it where people just nominate, or I've seen where people, discuss each candidate.
Mhm.
There's different ways you can do it, but I believe
Okay.
that's up to the board chair, not to put pressure on you.
just as far as the process. right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, well, does anyone have a strong opinion about any one of these three and wishes to make a nomination? Maybe we could start there.
You know, I don't know any of them,
Okay,
and I wonder if anybody here.
yeah,
was curious
what
Dawn's opinion was.
I was wanting to abstain, but.
yeah, since
I
she's
my concern is I'm going to be working with whoever is elected.
Yeah,
And I want to be in as president and
Yeah.
as a director. And I have talked to all three of them. I think all three have great strengths. And I think all three would be a good option, but I don't know if I want to be involved in giving opinions.
that's fair. Rick, we had a chance at the legislative dinner in late October to hear from all three of these folks. So while we may not know, some of us know them more than others, maybe we did have a chance to kind of hear from them. So at that meeting, so I'm comfortable with, does anyone have, I mean, I have somebody I like, but I'd love to hear somebody else make a nomination if you've got somebody.
I'll take a stab at it.
Who's going for it?
I always do myself in these.
I love it, Polly. That's what I love about you.
I move to nominate Daniel Ruby to the Legislative Policy Committee for the Southern Region, position 5.
I second that. Any discussion?
Chosen.
Okay,
I have a
yes.
question. It seemed, after reading the candidate questionnaire, it has a lot of really strong experience with
Who does?
Nathan
Oh, uh-huh, okay,
and,
yeah,
I mean, it just seems that I don't know any of these folks besides the very brief introduction, vote for me, more for Pedro sort of introduction that they had at the regional roadshow. And, yeah, I guess based on like work experience and other things, that's why I was curious if anybody knew more about it. On paper, it looks very, like a very strong candidate.
yeah, I think they're all great candidates. It's a tough decision. If Polly had nominated Nathan Siebel, I was gonna second it. So. Yeah, so we could vote, and if we don't wish for Dan to get the nomination, then we could start over. Hopefully that works for everybody, process wise.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah. In forestry, he has helped craft the House Bill 2329, which I don't even know what the House Bill
Now,
is.
she wanted to
Probably.
make an alternative motion.
Uh-huh.
So we have a motion on the floor. Yeah.
Like gathering, like, I love this engagement, they gathered stakeholders, I mean, there seems to be like a lot of experience, but I don't know much about that, but that seems very appealing.
I'm just wondering, if they're on the legislative committee, are they representing Southern Oregon?
Yes.
Okay, so they would be speaking to issues as it affected the schools in the Southern Oregon district?
Yes, they would be speaking but they'd also be in a group to give opinions. The Legislative Policy Committee meets several times a year. And so we talk about what challenges or how a bill would affect the schools. And then that way, that person would be able to voice their concerns as well. An LPC person could also go up to legislative days and talk to legislators and such. But yes, they would help with the policy part. And they would do more. They would help me send out emails. We would be a team, hopefully of 3. We'll be voting for someone next time to do board of directors. So there'll be a team of 3 to help the region connect with emails and maybe some Zoom meetings. I heard that people would like some Zoom meetings. Yeah. And it would be a team. Right now it's me. And so I really look forward for the team of 3 of us. It's gonna be awesome, I think. But
I think my comprehension of this is that they're the conduit. They hear the voices here and they hear the voices in the legislature, and they're a conduit of that information coming back with OSBA also being involved.
Yeah.
So maybe a question, has anybody had any sort of experience with them on their communication skills? Because that seems to be like a strength that it's gonna be really needed. That bi-directional communication.
Yes, and they're both great.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't think we can really go wrong. Yeah, I mean, so what we do have is a motion nominating Dan. If you want to talk Polly into amending her motion, she could make a motion that the board vote for a person, and we can tally it up that way if we want to, or we can just vote for the nomination for Dan and see where that falls.
I'd say the latter.
You want to do the latter, just vote?
But you just got one vote. I mean, if everybody just got one vote, then we'd know who got the most votes in the second. And that could be the person with the most votes. If we vote, everybody votes on Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
if it fails, then we'd have to nominate somebody else.
if it fails, meaning there's no majority, would that be failing?
Yeah, if less than 4 people vote for Dan, we would have to nominate somebody else.
Okay. And Dawn, are you saying that there's another position coming up for someone else on this?
yes, so this position is for the Legislative Policy Committee. And then next month, we're gonna talk about this in a minute. We're gonna have a board of directors seat as well. So there'll be 3 of us. Usually for our region, there's 2 representing our region, the board of director and the Legislative Policy Committee. But since I will be the president, I will be quite busy. And so we will have an additional board of directors to help facilitate, because I won't have as much time to facilitate
For our region.
It's just Dawn.
It's just me.
It's just
Dawn's the only-
just you now.
It was me.
Now she's going.
It's
to
been
write
just
up.
me since June. That's why you're not.
Oh, for
getting it.
LPC, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
So is it possible that these same 3 candidates would be possible to be?
No,
No.
it is not possible to be different. As
board of directors for OSBA.
Right. And as far as I know, there's different people that have assigned. So yes, these people were for LPC, and then different people will be for board of directors. And they knew, plenty, I feel like they knew, I tried to explain it well, plenty of time that these 2 positions were opening and what they had done. And I have talked to almost every person, all 3 of these, and I have also talked to some board of directors. So everyone understands their role and what they're saying yes to. And all 3 of these were happily saying yes, I can say that.
okay, so, we have a motion on the table nominating Dan. Polly, are you good with your motion?
Yes.
Okay, so we're just gonna vote. So if you say yes, you're voting to nominate Dan. Okay,
And Ruby.
yep, Daniel Word, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, Diana,
Yes.
Nancy,
No.
Polly,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
I'm abstaining.
Stinker, Rebecca,
Yes.
how many is that? Is that 4?
That's the majority.
Perfect, I vote yes. Okay, Dan gets the nominee. I don't know why I did. But then I'm gonna do it anyway.
Fine.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tom.
I don't know anything, but I think that there's strong possibility. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know these.
I know, it's a tough choice, Nancy.
Both of them. seem
Yes.
Incredibly appealing, and I was
Yeah.
like, you don't know where to
Yeah.
go, but given the experience that the other candidate had around policy and legislature, that seemed more of a.
Sure, well, you
But it
should.
doesn't mean that we should not allow, I mean, my hope is that we always encourage other people to build up this.
And he may
strength and
win, we're
still-
just one district of 13, so.
Yep.
We'll see what happens. Okay, next is OSBA Board of Directors, Southern Region. This is the point at which we are nominating people. So there's nobody to choose from right now. We are nominating people and the nominations close tomorrow. So does anyone have someone they wish to nominate, for OSBA? And I will, Nancy, can I speak for you? Do you,
I mean, go ahead.
do you wish to be nominated or would you rather not?
Thank you for asking that question. Something that I had shared with Dawn was I had considered, because I think it would be such a value add. And then I was thinking, as I'm consistently thinking about diverse representation, if we, since Dawn will be president, we have somebody representing our school district. And it felt like a fair thing to let somebody else from our region who has very similar but also unique experience with their own school district to step into that role. I think that we're better when we have that diversity of representation of regions. Sorry. And so while I was highly considering and I was going to do it, I think I would cast my vote for or nominate, I should say, nominate Jay from the Rogue River School District.
Jay Chick.
Chick.
Okay,
And just to can I just make
Yeah,
some
please.
clarifications?
yes.
I think that's awesome, and he's been nominated, but and it's official, he's officially been nominated and accepted, and you can nominate again.
Oh,
That's 100%. You can also nominate anyone from the board, but having 2 nominations would be great. I know some school boards in other regions have 3 or 4 nominations from other schools, so
okay,
either way, I just wanted to.
Thank
to
you.
put my.
thank you for letting us know that.
information.
Now, when we have a nomination for this, do we also vote on it? Does the
Yes,
board-
we have to vote on it.
Okay,
And then it has to be filled out that we have voted and that person has to fill out the nomination paperwork. But I am confident that he has already turned in his nomination paperwork.
okay,
So it would just be a procedure to let OSBA know that we also support him.
got it, okay,
Michael,
yes.
how about you?
Oh, no, sir. Thank you, but I do not have time. I appreciate it. No way. You're lucky I'm here tonight. But I appreciate you, sir. Thank you. I would love to do that someday, but maybe in 30 years.
So you changed it, I think that
Okay,
you would be great for the position.
okay. So we have a nomination for Jay. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? I think Jay is fantastic.
Jay's amazing.
Yeah.
She's our honorary member.
Yes. We adopt him at conferences, yeah.
Okay.
Feel his principal and took him here, so.
Oh,
Exactly.
Yeah,
oh, true.
yeah, Casey came from his school.
Oh, that's right. Well, then we're kind of off. Okay, and so we'll vote for Jay.
Yes.
Okay, Nancy,
Yes.
Holly,
Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
Don,
Abstain.
okay, and Rebecca?
Yes.
I vote, excuse me, I vote yes, yeah.
Other people are applying.
Oh, 19%, right? I second.
Rebecca nominated, and who seconded?
No.
Oh,
Nancy
nominated?
Nice.
Diana seconded, okay, I saw that, okay.
I just, I just agreed.
Oh, you just agreed,
Yeah.
okay,
She
never
just
mind.
did an endorsement. Not a
Replace,
nomination.
okay. Okay, now this is, we don't have to turn this into a whole thing, but I asked, I asked, it is very late, I would ask that we not turn it into a whole thing. But I did ask, Denise to bring the cell phone policy to us as an action item, simply because I want to just remind the board as the chair. I feel it's my responsibility to remind us that we are currently out of compliance with the governor's executive order. So be that as it may, yes.
Could we do a little synopsis for Rick, maybe, because he doesn't know what's happening? What happened in our last meeting?
Can we do a little synopsis?
Yeah, just a quick, cliff note version.
Okay, look, very quick, Rick. When in your stead at the last meeting, we talked about this for 2 hours. And in the end, we voted 4-2 to not pass the cell phone policy. A lot of rich discussion happened. And if you want to know more, I would encourage you to go back and watch it.
But you need to say where it's coming from and what we were voting on.
We were voting, so the cell phone, so the governor's executive order that requires cell phones to be banned from bell to bell. And as you know, we already have a policy in place. It's elementary and middle, you can't have cell phones at all. At the high school, kids are allowed to have them during meal periods. And based on the executive order, it's an understanding that that would not be allowed under the governor's executive order. And so we were supposed to, districts in Oregon were supposed to pass a policy by October 31st. And it was supposed to go into effect no later than January 1st, upholding that cell phone ban, if you will. And our board, being the free-spirited folks that we are, decided to vote no on that policy 4-2 at the last meeting.
Not all of
There
us.
also is no.
4-2, I said.
Okay.
Yeah,
There's
4-2.
no penalization for not enacting the policy if you don't agree with it also.
That we know.
Isn't it a
So
mandate, not a policy? Or what is the right wording?
it's an executive order. So one way to think of it is it kind of, if you think back to COVID, when there were mask requirements, if you talk to, and we did get a legal opinion that says it has the effect of law, because it's an executive order of the governor who has does oversight of our schools. And so, however, there were very clear during COVID, there were very clear punitive results if you didn't follow the executive order. There's not really with this. So
And I think that's really important.
Yes.
Thank you for clarifying
Yes.
that differentiation.
yes, yes,
That was a bit of struggle.
yes.
Voted 2,
Mhm.
who live, can you tell me who?
Yeah.
Michael and I voted for the.
Holly and I voted yes.
Yes.
And everyone.
Seconded it and then voted against.
And I'm equally confused by.
She came to the light.
It's the same exact policy that we.
The phones are in the high school, certainly, the phones are personal property. And the way this reads, it says they may be stored on the student's person, but may not be used during regular instructional hours. And I'm assuming that this policy is K-12. And that is
That is
opposite
true.
of what
Yeah.
we already said that's in our handbook about the students K-8 or 9, whatever junior high is, are not to even have their phones there.
On their person.
On their
That's
person.
true. How we. Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
we. Okay, well, you've just made this really easy for us, so here's what we're doing.
Okay,
We will take a look at that and come back with something that specifies by grade or by level of education that we can take a look at. I really only asked Denise to bring it just because I felt responsible to say we are currently out of compliance. But I think that's a good point. So why don't we discuss that at the next meeting? And yeah, I wouldn't want to pass a policy that makes it less restrictive than it is now at those younger grades, because I think it's really important.
And it's
So-
working.
And it's working,
Yeah.
yeah, correct, which is another reason why it's working, so we all, many of us expressed frustration at the fact that there was even an executive order that happened.
So I spoke with a gentleman from Cook County, up in the OSBA, and they were struggling with the cell phone policy as well, and they ended up doing like a bare minimum type. We could look into what they have going.
Michael, can you help me understand why we're bringing, I mean, I understand the initial reason, but if what we have currently is working,
Because we're out of compliance with an executive order that the governs.
If we
Which
don't
could-
pass it.
Which
Right,
could
I
bring with
hear
it
that.
some,
I hear that,
Yeah.
but when are we bringing it back next month to have this
Next-
discussion?
A work session.
probably December's meeting. Yeah, December's
To
meeting.
have the same discussion again?
Well, we're gonna make changes to it so that it specifies that you can't have it at all in elementary and middle school. Because right now, the policy, Dan just pointed out something really, that would actually make it more lenient in those younger grades than is our current practice right now.
So two things. One, I'm glad we're waiting because of they are talking about that at the house. I think it's more of how. I think it's just gonna be hey, everything's happy, but it'd be nice to see that. And also I just have a question on policy. I mean, on our board agreement. I know in the past, when we have voted on something and we have made the vote. Typically, we don't bring something back up at the meeting again. I'm not sure what our board agreement says on that, but I know this is different circumstances, but typically when it is a vote with the majority, we don't usually bring it back until a certain amount of time or until a
I
certain
don't think
discussion.
that's in our, it's not in our authority.
Okay, but typically in the past, when we have voted for a policy or executive order, whatever, we typically don't bring it back in. I believe that in some of the workshops with Kristen, that is usually something that is not maybe in the best interest is bringing, I just want to make sure that we're not, I don't know. Well, not double jeopardy, but I think, I'm wondering if this is a good practice. And I understand why you brought it back. Because of, you wanted to make sure we're not in compliance, and I appreciate you trying to be a good board chair. But I also am wondering, if it's a practice.
We don't have to bring it back. I'm just telling you, we might get a letter on January 2nd. So, and we could have to spend money on legal counsel, so. I've stated my piece. I don't have to bring it back again. We'll see what happens.
Is there a way to do a different policy rather than the same one that we had already?
Well, there could be now, but I'm not gonna bring it back again. And I'm not gonna be chair next year because of this.
You're gonna walk out right now? Oh, you're That's like PTSD, don't do that. Yeah, I love, we get to.
No, you know why I said that, right? No? What I'm thinking about. No, you know why I said that. It's the last year I can be chair. Oh, okay.
They're just like, oh my gosh, I remember the last year like that.
No,
Remember, we have to be trauma informed.
I think, yeah, I'm sorry, that was
There's
not
so
trauma.
we can't, Frank.
It was just like a quick, oh, crap, okay.
Another option
Oh.
Thank you. Thank you, Brent.
could be that we adjust the policy to do what we're actually doing in practice currently. And send it up there and see what they say.
Yeah. Oh, send it up where?
The ODE, because we have to send it by November 1st, which is
2 weeks ago.
We noticed it's not there yet.
they are combing through those in our coaching council. has asked what the consequences would be, and the answer from ODE reps is they're not sure.
Yeah, we're already spending
One of
money
the,
on
one of the options, we could still say no, or we could actually create a policy that we're actually doing now and pass that,
I
and then
like
see
that.
if it's in their court.
It's more reflective of what we're actually doing versus like completely being, this rogue and without more context. I really like that option.
So do you want me to do, are you okay with
I
that?
don't care
If I bring
about
it back? Okay.
To make sure that, like, if we did it this time, it would happen again. You know what I mean? That's
No.
not best
Yeah.
practice to bring them back, and I
Yes.
just want
Listen,
to start a practice that.
I would be peeved if like, in like something else that didn't have these kind of other things attached to it. That would be annoying if the chair just kept bringing stuff
Right.
back, cause I totally get it. It's just, here's what happened is, we just talked about it for so long. I wanted to just have the opportunity to say, we are out of compliance. I just wanna make sure that's very clear. Okay. Right.
This meeting was complicated in that the high school had done a survey. And
Yeah.
found that a certain 50% or something of
Right.
the students were working, needed their phones to know if they got that extra shift or whatever, or was trading with somebody. And another 30% or something were responsible for younger kids in the same school, but needed to be doing transportation and childcare. And so that was complicated. And then there were a lot of students there who were gonna be directly impacted by that decision. And so I think that's why it did take a long time. And the policy itself is muddy. And the board, what's happening now seems to work.
Yes, I agree.
So.
Thank you
So
for
can
being
you all
with us,
work
Reese.
with, I just wanna make sure what we bring forward is actually practice. The practice that we like and is working. And does that work for everybody? We'll bring that back in December to be there. Okay, it's great.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
of course.
appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
We're gonna miss it.
Yes, and we have a work session next week. The agenda's there, it's a Thursday.
It is a Thursday.
Yep. So OSBA debrief, budget updates, strategic plan update. All right, we are adjourned.